Mycenae looks out to the sea across the Argive plain, and its power came from the waves.
Mycenae, nestled in southern Greece, is a place shrouded in myth and history. This ancient site is situated on the northwestern side of the Acropolis and is known for its iconic Lion Gate.
High in the mountains of Greece, there's a mysterious gateway and an ancient megastructure known as the Lion's Gate of Mycenae. Its massive stones seem too large to be what ancient hands could have built.
Right now we're standing on top of the Acropolis of the ancient city-state of Mycenae. This city dates back to the 16th century BC.
There are tools as proof, no records, and no clear answers, but somehow they were moved, carved, and assembled with a very impressive precision. Some people believe there was extraterrestrial involvement in the megastructure's construction because it completely defies human comprehension. How did the ancient builders do it? Or was this secretly the work of a lost civilization with advanced technology? Join us as we reveal the secrets of a structure that still baffles scientists today. The mysterious origins of the Lion's Gate. The Lion's Gate stands tall in Mycenae, Greece, as one of ancient history's most impressive archaeological sites. But you might be wondering what makes this ancient structure so special. This monumental entrance was built long before ancient Rome, but the methods used to create it baffle experts today. It was a time over 3,000 years ago before cranes, bulldozers, and advanced machinery. Ancient builders, with only primitive tools and knowledge, crafted a stone gateway so precise and monumental that it still stands today, defying time and nature. This gate is not like any other entrance you've probably seen before. Towering over visitors at almost 10 feet high, the Lion's Gate is a structure made from giant stones perfectly stacked on each other, without any mortar. But what's really fascinating is not just the gate's size or beauty, it's the mystery surrounding its construction and purpose. And this is where you'd want to follow more closely, as it gets even more interesting from here.
The Lion's Gate again at Mycenae. I think this is... the heads are missing off the lions, unfortunately. There are obviously more blocks above that when it was original.
Above the gate is a stunning relief sculpture of two lions standing proudly, guarding the city. These lions are depicted in a striking relief, looking down on anyone who dares to approach. They are the first thing you notice when you visit the site, but there's so much more to the gate than these impressive carvings. The gate is made from huge stone blocks, each weighing several tons. These massive stones were carefully cut and placed to create a perfect archway that would have required great skill and knowledge of engineering to construct. But its precise design is the most incredible part of the Lion's Gate. The way the stones fit together is so perfect that they have remained standing for thousands of years, with little to no shifting. But here's the twist. The technology and tools needed to create such a structure didn't exist when it was built. So how did the Mycenaeans manage it? That's the question that has confused historians for centuries. To understand why the Lion's Gate is so important, we must take a step back and look at the civilization that built it. The Mycenaeans were powerful, thriving from around 1600 to 1100 BCE. They were skilled traders, warriors, and builders known for their elaborate palaces, fortified cities, and advanced technology. They created some of the first forms of writing, used complex irrigation systems, and even developed early forms of architecture that would influence future civilizations. But the question remains, how did the Mycenaeans manage to build the Lion's Gate? While many ancient cultures built impressive structures, the mystery of its construction sets the Lion's Gate apart. Unlike other gates or walls from the same period, the stones used for the Lion's Gate were not just large, they were incredibly heavy and perfectly shaped. The archway itself is made from a technique called post and lintel construction, where vertical posts support horizontal lintels, but the blocks are so perfectly placed that they fit together with almost no space between them. It's almost as if they were meant to last forever. One of the biggest mysteries surrounding the Lion's Gate is the advanced techniques used to construct it. Historians and archaeologists agree that the Mycenaeans had remarkable skills, but how they achieved such precision with the Lion's Gate remains a mystery. Some suggest that the Mycenaeans were ahead of their time, using techniques lost to history. They may have developed methods of cutting, shaping, and lifting stones that we don't fully understand today, but others believe that the knowledge required to build such a structure may have come from a source we still don't know about. There are theories that the Mycenaeans could have been influenced by a lost civilization or had access to knowledge passed down from older, more advanced cultures. We don't know whether the builders of the Lion's Gate have had knowledge of engineering principles forgotten by time, because the truth remains a mystery. But have you ever thought of what the carved lions above the gate mean? Well, you'll want to hear this. The significance of the lions above the gate.
We are heading towards Lion's Gate, or maybe we should call it the SUV gate.
Remember we mentioned there are 2 carved lions guarding the entrance of the city? Perhaps the most striking feature of the Lion's Gate is the image of 2 lions carved above the entrance. These lion carvings are some of the earliest examples of monumental sculpture from ancient Greece, and they are not just decoration. They are full of meaning and symbolism. Lions have always been symbols of power and strength, and the presence of these majestic creatures above the gate was no accident. In ancient cultures, lions were often associated with royalty and divine protection, and their placement above the gate could have been a sign that the city of Mycenae was guarded by powerful human and divine forces. To the people of Mycenae, walking under the watchful eyes of the lions may have felt like stepping under the guardianship of a higher power, offering physical and spiritual security. Some scholars believe the lions might also represent the rulers of Mycenae at the time, possibly even a royal family. The imagery of the 2 lions could have been a way to signify the unity and strength of the Mycenaean leaders, who were thought to be rulers and protectors of their people. What if we told you that the mystery of the Lion's Gate goes beyond its construction and symbolism? It has a lot to say about the people who built it, why such an enormous effort was put into creating a gateway for a city, and what it meant to those who passed through it. The placement of the gate itself reveals its strategic role in Mycenae's defense. It wasn't simply a convenient doorway, but part of a larger, fortified wall encircled the city. Anyone attempting to breach Mycenae would have to pass through the Lion's Gate, a bottleneck that would have made it easier for defenders to repel attackers. Its elevated position on the hill strengthened its role as a defensive stronghold, giving Mycenaeans a clear view of approaching enemies. The Lion's Gate wasn't just a physical barrier, but a guardian of the city. But the Lion's Gate wasn't just about defense. It was also a gateway to the daily life and culture of Mycenae. Passing through the gate would have felt like stepping into a world of wealth and sophistication. The gate was a threshold for people's goods, ideas, and traditions. Mycenae was a trade hub connecting the Mediterranean world to distant lands. Merchants and travelers would have passed through the Lion's Gate, bringing exotic goods, stories, and innovations. While the Lion's Gate has been studied extensively, it remains a source of intrigue. People have asked questions like, could secrets still be hidden in its ruins, waiting to be uncovered? Undoubtedly, the gate represents a link between the past and the future.
And to the left of me, we have Lion's Gate, which is the entrance to the citadel.
The way the Mycenaeans built it, and the fact that it has stood the test of time, suggests a deep connection to ancient knowledge, something that might have been passed down through generations. Archaeologists have found palaces, tombs, and treasures within the walls of Mycenae, but the mysteries still remain. Some believe the city might hold hidden chambers or underground passageways, possibly leading to undiscovered treasures or forgotten knowledge. Others claim that Mycenae may still hide clues about its sudden collapse and why such a powerful civilization disappeared almost overnight. For now, the Lion's Gate remains a portal to the unknown, a bridge between the past and the present, inviting us to explore its mysteries and imagine the world that once thrived beyond its towering walls. But the Lion's Gate isn't the only ancient wonder that holds untold stories. Thousands of miles away, near the third cataract of the Nile in what is now northern Sudan, lies another breathtaking sight, Kerma. Known as Defufa, these massive mud brick structures rise out of the desert like silent guardians of a forgotten kingdom. But the question is, Who built them? And how did this ancient civilization thrive in such a harsh environment? Let's take you on a journey to Kerma and discover one of the oldest and most fascinating kingdoms of the Nile. Kerma's Defufa, the lost kingdom of the Nile. In the heart of northern Sudan, near the third cataract of the Nile, is a place covered in mystery and history, Kerma. This ancient city, once the center of a powerful Nubian kingdom, holds secrets that baffle archaeologists and historians.
The area is vast, hot, and flat.
At its core are the monumental Defufas, towering mud brick structures that defy the odds of time and nature. But what is the story behind these ancient marvels? Kerma is one of the oldest urban centers in Africa, dating back over 4,000 years. It flourished during a time when Egypt ruled as a mighty empire. Yet Kerma managed to rise as a formidable neighbor to the south. Located strategically along the Nile, the kingdom thrived on trade, connecting Africa's heartland with the Mediterranean world. Kerma wasn't just a trading post, it was a cultural powerhouse. The people of Kerma built a vibrant society with their own traditions, language, and art. They were skilled craftsmen, producing exquisite pottery and jewelry, but what set them apart was their monumental architecture, particularly the Defufas. These massive structures, constructed entirely of mud brick, were unlike anything elsewhere in Africa. Defufa comes from the local Nubian language and refers to the towering mud brick buildings that dominate the Kerma landscape. There are 3 known Defufas, but the most famous one, the Western Defufa, stands nearly 60 feet tall and looms over the surrounding desert. The Western Defufa is believed to have been a temple or a ceremonial site where the people of Kerma came to worship their gods and honor their ancestors. Its sheer size and intricate construction represent a society with advanced engineering skills and a deep connection to its spiritual beliefs. Another Defufa, the Eastern Defufa, is thought to have served as a royal burial site. Surrounding it are hundreds of tombs, some containing treasures that reveal the wealth and power of Kerma's rulers. The discovery of these burial sites gives us a glimpse into the kingdom's complex social hierarchy, where kings and nobles were buried with gold, weapons, and even sacrificed servants to accompany them into the afterlife. One of the most fascinating aspects of Kerma's Defufas is their construction. Built using sun-dried mud bricks, these structures have withstood thousands of harsh desert conditions. Without modern tools or machinery, they created massive buildings that have outlasted many of their contemporaries. Some researchers believe the Defufas were built by large, organized labor forces, similar to how the pyramids of Egypt were constructed. Others suggest the structures were continually maintained and rebuilt over the centuries, ensuring their longevity. But what remains a mystery is why the people of Kerma chose to build in such a monumental style. But like all great civilizations, Kerma eventually fell. Around 1500 BCE, it was conquered by the Egyptians during the reign of Pharaoh Thutmose I. The Egyptians sought to control Nubia's wealth and resources, and Kerma was absorbed into the Egyptian empire. But Kerma's legacy did not disappear. Its cultural and architectural influence persisted, shaping the following kingdoms, including the powerful kingdom of Kush. The Defufas, though no longer in use, remained as silent witnesses to the city's former glory. For centuries, Kerma was forgotten, buried beneath the sands of time. It wasn't until the 20th century that archaeologists began to reveal its secrets. The Swiss archaeologist Charles Bonnet led many of the excavations, bringing the story of Kerma and its Defufas back to life. Every newly found text is treated with a chunk of skepticus, until the Ethiopian Bible. After those who knew the language deciphered and translated it into English language, it became apparent that the texts inside are not just like any. For example, the Book of Enoch had long been suspected to exist somewhere, but there is a way it should look as if it exists somewhere. The ones that have been found show no sign of what is expected. They look so doctored that one would have a hard time not doubting that they were, but this one is just different. It is as it has been predicted. One thing that is very important in books and texts, like those that have been found, is whether they rhyme with prediction. This one just fits into it completely. Apart from that, there is also the claim of origin. The book does not situate itself in Rome or any other such place, but in Ethiopia itself. Indeed, Ethiopia had long been a stable religious city where Christianity was thriving as a business in China. Many of those there even believed that Jesus was in Ethiopia and preached among the saints there. While there is no real evidence for this, there is no doubt that Ethiopia preceded the Western world in receiving and accepting Christianity in all its shades. This is why the country is considered to have some certain preeminence when discussions about Christianity are concerned. But this is not even all about it. Most Christian texts in the Western world have either been forged or been polluted. The Bible, as we know it, is not what it was originally. Some books were intentionally removed, such as the Book of Jonah. There have been reasons put forward for their removal. They sound plausible, to be fair, but it makes one doubt things in the Western world to a certain extent. The Ethiopian Bible, on the other hand, has been living on its own time for some time now, meaning that it has not been polluted. It is still a pure book, untouched, and because of that, it is very valuable for the intended research. The last reason will surprise you. Stay tuned. We all tend to think the Bible is supposed to be dull and drabby. This same pattern of thought has also been extended to other books out there. It is not a premeditated thought anyway. It is something rooted in the way the book is. There is no way one catches a whiff of the Bible or even the Torah as a whole that one would not think all books about serious things such as heaven and hell should be all word. But well, we are glad to break it to you. The Ethiopian Bible is not like that. This ancient book is filled with artistic portrayals that could wow just anybody who loves seeing the Sistine Chapel or anything like it. The drawings were made from velium from goat or sheepskin, and natural dyes were used for illustrations. This shows the writers must have been very careful to get what they knew to be true. They wanted to have the best representation of their knowledge out there, which by every means is a sign of authenticity, although it filled the artistic thirst of people who love great works of art. So why would someone not want to read such a book and finish it as soon as possible? This and the other mentioned above are the reasons this Bible is very crucial, revealing what is in the Ethiopian Bible. One thing that struck those who decipher the Ethiopian Bible is the enormous number of mysteries and truths untold and hidden within the book. All the things that the Bible says are contained in it, as well as many more. It is such a wealth of knowledge. Among all its texts, one that first garnered enough interest from all corners is that of the Book of Enoch. Sure, there are others too that are very revealing, but this one has its peculiarity that strikes a person immediately when he or she sees it. And moreover, it is different from the generally known Book of Enoch. This is why, in this part, we will first tell you the most important things contained in this wonderful book. The book starts by telling the story of Enoch as it is in the Bible. He is the man who the Bible said walked with God and never offended him. His son remains one of the most popular aged people in the Bible. We are talking, of course, of Methuselah, a man who has lived many more years than expected of people of his time. His record still remains unbroken today. Perhaps when men have developed better sophisticated technology, we can live as many years. The story here, however, is more colorful and detailed. It is not just a vignette like we have in the Bible. The first revelation in the book is the story of Nephilims. That had been one dark territory in the Christian Bible. We will talk about it at length soon, but let us say some other revelations that strike immediately upon sight. There is also the story of why some angels fell. While this is also in the Bible, the one here seems a bit different. It has a story that separates it from everything else. Then, the last one that could make one retake a seat. The reason why the flood was necessary. In the Bible, the flood looks like something that could have been averted, but here we have the whole story of why that might not have been good for the earth then. Simply, it was a necessity. Nephilims are originally believed to have been created. This has been the mainstay truth for some years now, but with this book, it has been cast aside. According to the Book of Enoch, Nephilim came about after fallen angels arrived on earth. They had offended God and were sent down to earth. Instead of these angels to tread it lightly, they forgot their state and saw the beautiful humans as possessions they would love for themselves. In other words, they wanted to copulate with humans. Their wish came true, but there were children from the encounter. These children are the Nephilims. They have in them the genes of both humans and angels. In heaven, God was very angry about this. He had not sent them to earth to come and mix with humans. Moreover, those children became much stronger than necessary. God then cursed them and was ready to do more about it. According to this book, heaven was angry about what humans had done by listening to the sweet voices of the fallen angels. There will always be a punishment that is more than that curse. It is only a matter of time. The question is, who would be able to mediate between man and God when God was that angry? This was where Enoch came to the fore. He was never a stranger to the throne of God. He saw it all firsthand through dreams and visions. He had access to God as he was his chosen human. Instead of him withdrawing, knowing how angry God was, he chose to be the mediator. Like Esther, he did not care about what happened afterward. All he wanted was for there to be peace in heaven and on earth. So he pleaded with God to help the humans look upon them with mercy. God, fortunately for him, answered. That is the reason some of us are still breathing today. God, perhaps, would have wiped out the whole of humanity. Apart from that, there is also the annals of Witcher in this book. There is a complex hierarchy system between humans and angels in God's chosen system. In this part of the Ethiopian Bible that is witnessed firsthand, humans are seen as being raised in heaven even more than angels, as angels are supposed to care for and watch over them. It seems humans are God's dearly beloved, and God would give up just anything to secure and make them happy. This explains the reason Jesus, according to the New Testament, had to be sent to die for humans. The reach of this book is immense compared to what has been explained. It influenced later Christian thoughts, as scholars have said. They can see some bold imprints of it in other books, such as Jude and Revelations. In Jude, we are thrown into the mysterious world of angels and spirits. The same thing can be said of Revelations. It is also straight about what has been seen and known since the beginning of the world. They are all in the annals of the Witcher. One wonders why it is such a coincidence. The thing is, it's no coincidence. It has influenced other books. Another important book worthy of being mentioned here is that of Baruch. Usually ascribed to Jeremiah, it is not a settled cause. Many are still of the opinion that Jeremiah did not write it. Until that is proven, the general consensus is what will be followed. Anyway, it was written in the 1st and 2nd century. It tells of the tales of many of Baruch's visions, explanations, and revelations that were not originally in the Bible. They shed more light on what had been known with their twists and turns. One would be well off reading it, but it is more or less advanced Jeremiah. Then we turn to the last but another important book here, the Ascension of Isaiah. Unlike the book of Baruch, the authorship of the Ascension of Isaiah is clear. Its direction and revelations are also very familiar. According to experts studying it, it fuses themes from both the Christian and Jewish literature. The story here is that of Isaiah's journey to the heavens, the throne of God. He might not be a mediator like Enoch, but he certainly saw firsthand what was happening in heaven. He reported the breathtaking pictures of heaven and some other already known but often doubted realities. The book contains 2 parts. One is the martyrdom of Isaiah. This is a very detailed history of Isaiah, starting from the early part of his journey as a prophet and how he began to confront King Manasseh in accordance with the orders he received from God. Manasseh warned him to keep quiet, but he would not since God had never ordered him. This then led Manasseh to order that he be brought to him. After he saw that Isaiah would never keep quiet, he ordered that he be put on the sword, which was exactly what happened. The other part, on the other hand, contains his vision of heaven. All these had been a gap in Christian knowledge, but now the truth is known. However, the Book of Enoch does more than explain the past. It has also helped explain a profound scientific reality.
And it's also interesting that they found the Book of Enoch among other books of the Bible when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls.
How the Book of Enoch helped explain a troubling scientific question. On December 20th, 1994, a new scientific question was birthed. No, it did not happen because of new equipment that was introduced. Rather, it could be said that old equipment was doing its job better. That is the James Webb Telescope. which has surprised the Earth with beautiful images and pictures that would not have been accessible without it. Until December 20th, everything it has captured has always fit into the scientific laws and paradigms that have always been known. But on this day, something else happened. There were shocking images of many neatly packed structures in the atmosphere. This was at first most troubling. As known, scientists are never the ones to be shy in the face of a troublesome situation. This is the reason some of them collected the images and began theorizing. In the world of scientists, time is everything. The faster one can find the solution, the better. So, theories began to come out. But as they were coming, the scientific watchdogs stooped to work too. They began to find faults in those theories. Attempts were made to invent new explanations and theories to capture the current reality, but they were all to no avail. This continued until everyone agreed that no one had the answer by which time the image had traveled out of the scientific space. It all of a sudden began to trend on the internet. People sent it to other people. They wanted to let their loved ones. Some also began to look at it from non-scientific eyes. Soon, an alarm bell rang across the board that it must have been something sinister. This is because it has been inexplainable, so they couldn't explain it. Terrible things on Earth have been inexplicable, so for some, it is better to be safe than sorry. Many blamed the scientists for allowing the image to leak without having enough information on it. But the deed had already been done. To end the panic, the Fed intervened. They wanted the pictures to be removed entirely from the internet. Their reason was that it had started causing a widespread panic. The Fed had indeed enough reason to stop the spread, but there seems to be another reason they want the thing bottled. For some speculators, it is because the Fed knows the truth about the image. In collaboration with the deep state, they have chosen to keep everyone in the dark. They, according to these people, could not have done that for no reason. There must be more than meets the eye. While the Fed succeeded in deleting the image from the internet, one photographer, Arlington of Airfield, had it saved in a very safe space, and he has made it come out the more to the extent that all that had been hidden was now showing in full color. He was so sure of what he had done that he began showing it to people all around. They kept coming back after telling people they knew would love to see it come to them. After doing this for a while, Arlington considered making it online again. When it came back, you'd be surprised at the sight of it. The image shows tower pillar caves and other extravagant, indescribable structures arranged in piles. Their blocks look unreal, and their inside is inaccessible from the image. But there is something quite confusing about this image. They seem to be built with some rhythmical tune. That is, their structure has some orientation that makes one want to say this must have been the works of an intelligent being. However, that would be too fast an assumption to make. Yet, it looks like it. Anyway, some people who do not need a lot of facts before accepting something took the image hook, line, and sinker, but the scientists were not moved. Who would be right, the scientists or the layman? The image eventually went back to the scientists. They saw it but were not moved except for one, Dr. Ken Wilson. This man, though, has a rich understanding of space science, and a history of dismissing something like this feels there must be some truth in this particular one. His thought was confirmed when he noticed a particular hollow place, a kind of blurred section that no one could explain. He tried himself and saw no answer. This prompted him to argue that NASA should give the image the benefit of the doubt. That is, they should recapture the place. It was not an easy one, but he succeeded in getting them to do it. After they agreed, they came together again to decide how best to undertake this. For them, the James Webb Telescope should be configured for optional settings. They should also make sure it is at its best, working on its ability to do full-time jobs and everything. This took a long time because they did not want to risk another shot in the name of confirmation. That would be quite too much for everyone. It takes a lot of money besides. What they saw again shocked them. It was a futuristic city with its own system and organizational structure. Moreover, the Earth and galaxies were moving from the city. They were confused and had to seek explanation elsewhere. When the Ethiopian Bible was found, this city was one of the places Enoch described. It exists in mid-air. Rather than being a futuristic city, it is part of an extension. With the Ethiopian Bible, The truth of it is becoming more and more understood. The laymen, against all thoughts, are right. Thanks for watching this video till the end. What are your thoughts about the futuristic city you found? What's most surprising for you about the revelation of the Book of Enoch? If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Also, click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.